And we are live.
Yes, we are. We are live once again from the east side, the west side, the mid side, every side. So,
All around the
unfortunately, I think
world.
we're West Coast dominant tonight. So, I'm gonna have
Yep.
to throw up the west side. You know,
I have to say down
to all
south.
those East Coasters out there.
Yeah.
Hey,
How's it going? How you guys doing?
good. How are you been?
So. I'm recovering from I fell from the roof. So I
What you
messed up
mean
my
you
leg.
fell from the roof?
I messed up my leg and my lower back. So I'm on my third week. So
Oh,
that's why I'm a little crooked right now.
Yeah,
you got a
you know
cast?
what?
No, I didn't break anything, luckily. So just
Thank
very
you,
sore.
Lord.
When you're
Yeah.
chasing Bigfoot across your roof, you're not supposed to jump off when you get to the edge. It ain't
Right.
that important, dude.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I almost had him. I almost had him.
Almost, just right by, just it's one handful of hair. That's all I wanted. I almost had it.
Yep.
All right. So,
So
what
we
do you
get.
guys? What have
Go
you been
ahead.
up to, guys? Got the well, aside from you falling off the roof.
Yeah, I've been in recovery mode.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Me, well, I've been here at home, also recovering from a shoulder injury, but this whole COVID thing has kind of has us inside, so we haven't been able to go out much. But I mean, once this is all over and done with, we're hoping we can go out there again and you know continue our search for these mysterious cryptids that for some reason we've been I mean we've been lucky to get something from them to keep us out there and continuing our search.
Right. Always giving you just a little bit just to keep you coming back, huh?
Yes.
I mean, so many times, man, I go out, you never know. It's a gamble. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
sometimes, I get nothing. Sometimes I get, bags that have been ripped in half, and sometimes I get a pumpkin with a big bite in it,
Yeah.
just enough to keep you coming back, keep you guessing, keep you wondering.
Yes.
So, when
Last
you,
time that we went out, I think the last video we posted was a pterodactyl encounter that we had. We both had it, and we can talk about that if you guys want. I mean,
Yes.
Whatever
I
you
mean,
want.
would you consider that to be a thunderbird or
no,
no?
thunder. It didn't have any feathers.
No feathers. Okay, so I'm not really into. I've heard of them and stuff like that, and I know that there's been thunderbird sightings. I know in East Texas is a big part for
Right.
thunderbird sightings.
Yes.
And I think there's somewhere else also out by you
hmm
where thunderbird sightings are pretty prevalent and stuff. But
Yes. Correct.
obviously a pterodactyl is a flying reptile and it doesn't have feathers. Just like our science books and history would suggest. So it's two
Yes.
different. They're two different, completely different things.
Correct.
So
We believe so. Yes.
you're having pterodactyl sightings in your area. It's interesting.
Yeah. Last year we had
Especially
4.
with the with 4
Yeah.
just last week.
Yeah. Last year there was 4 sightings. Last year.
Oh, last year. Wow.
Yeah.
And
Last year we had 4, and it was again along the Kings River. Along that Kings River, and actually finally saw. We think it was a pterodactyl. We'll
I agree.
explain everything that happened, how it went down, and Jesus actually saw it too. So we both
Yeah.
saw it. So
We-
and
wow, it's
you want
always
to you
great
want to
to
start?
it's always great to have two people see it at the same time because it just corroborates, each other. Okay, you're
And
not crazy, and you're saying I'm not crazy because we
Yeah.
both saw that.
yeah.
You
And
know.
And the interesting thing is that we both kind of picked up on different features of the flying bird, because I as soon as I came back that night from being out there in our investigation, I'm gonna these are the
Real slow.
details that I'm remembering, and I'm gonna write them down, because as time progresses, you'll forget those details. But it was very different. I mean, we were getting there. It was still light, and it was just so weird. We had just gotten there. It's still lit up, and all of a sudden we see this huge bird just come out of some. We call it the island. I wouldn't know how to describe it. It's in the middle of the Kings River,
That's
and
the island I suggested getting a $40 Walmart blow up raft to get across to,
yes,
right?
No, that's a
yes.
it's a different one. It's a different
Oh,
one.
is it a different one? Okay.
This is where I had my dogman encounter. The same area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's not that. So he's not talking about that island.
no, he's talking about the one over here close to town.
Oh,
Where the
okay.
structure is. Where the structure is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was making comments. Nothing a $40 Walmart raft won't take care of.
Yeah.
Get on it, boys. Get over there. It's
So
funny.
this bird was just huge. It went over the bridge, and it took up two links of the bridge, and it was just slow, so peaceful, and I think Javier had noticed it, and I told him, "Dude, look at the size."
Yeah.
And that's when it kind of clicked. Like, this is not a regular bird. This isn't a crane. This isn't one of a common birds here in our local area, because we keep an eye out for all that stuff. And
Yeah, I think you guys have what osprey, cranes, condors are all up in your area,
Yeah.
and those are very
yeah,
big
so
birds. And then not to mention buzzards.
Right.
You know, people think of buzzards and vultures.
Yeah.
Those birds are big. I mean, they've got a 4 to 6 foot wingspan in themselves. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, they
Yes.
stand 2.5 feet, 3 feet tall. You know, I mean, they're big birds. So it's great that you guys had that bridge
Mhm.
to gauge it by, because then that gives you
Yes.
something to actually measure, to put numbers to.
Exactly.
You know? So,
Yeah.
especially when you're like, no, that ain't normal. Look at this. Look at the bridge and look at the bird, and you guys know how big that bridge is. You're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, that ain't
and at
normal.
the distance that we were, that was still a big bird.
Yeah. We were about 50 yards, I would say.
And you guys hear me?
Oh wow! I mean,
Yeah.
Perspective, 50 yards ain't far.
Yeah. We were about 50 yards.
That is not far at all. I mean, if you guys were talking like, oh yeah, we were about 3/4 of a mile to a mile away, and then I suggest, I would say, okay, well maybe distance did play a role in the size of it and stuff, but you 50 yards away,
Yeah.
and you have the bridge for measurement. I
Yeah.
mean,
And actually, I went
Yeah.
out. Yeah. I went out the next day to go measure the sections, the lengths of the bridge. And each section is 6 feet wide. It's 6 feet wide. So it covered two of those sections. So what you're talking about, a wingspan of 12 feet.
12
I believe.
feet.
yeah. I think pterodactyls been known to have 30 or 40 foot wingspans.
Hmm.
But it doesn't mean, obviously, these things have been sighted for a very long time, which suggests a breeding group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they're
And
going
there's
to grow up just like a bird. So
And there's different types of them. It's just not one. There's different types of them, but they all look a little similar.
in that area up there near you guys, a lot of it probably hasn't even been explored.
Yeah.
So I mean, the
No.
possibilities
Yeah,
where they are. I mean, the amount of caves
Mhm.
and the history of the area.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. So as soon as, like Jesus said, as soon as we got to that turnout, and it's that same turnout where I had my dogman encounter, as soon as we got there, I opened the door and the hair on my arm stood up like instantly. And I told Jesus, dude, do you feel that? it's like in the air. And he said, yeah, him too. You know, his hair stood up on his arm, and we were already on edge as soon as we got off the van. And that never happened. I haven't felt that like that quick. You know, as soon as I opened the door, I felt it, like it hit me. And I told Jesus, like, well, dude, something's here or something's going on. So we were just observing. And sure enough, about 15 minutes later or 10 minutes later, I hear like a screech, like it was a loud screech, and I turned. I had the spotlight, and I turned to where I heard the screech come out, and that was that little island. So I'm looking, and I'm with the spotlight, and I see it coming out, but I didn't. I thought it was a crane coming out at first, and I told Jesus, check it out, there's a bird over here, and then I felt something behind us. So I turned around, and Jesus was looking at and I kept the light on the bird, and Jesus was looking at the bird while I was looking behind us because I felt something behind us, and that's when he told me, "Hey, that's a huge bird." And when he said that, I turned around, I started looking at it, and sure enough, you know, it had that long beak. It had at least 2 feet long beak, and then it had a little bump on the head, not a big pointy one like you usually see in pictures.
Yeah, I think they call that a crest.
Yeah, but this one was small on the top. It was small.
Right.
But I remember all the structure of the head, the long beak. You can see the teeth a little bit. And then it's just like I didn't see it walk. I couldn't see its feet, but I right after that it sprung its wings out, and very slowly, like maybe 1 or 2 times, you know, it flapped its wings, but very slow.
Let's see.
Let me see here. See, it's similar to that, but it wasn't very long on top of the head. It's not that long. It was a little smaller. Yeah, similar to that, exactly like that. And it just flapped its wing 1, 2 times, real slow. On the 3rd time, it was already over the bridge.
That's what I remember too.
Wow.
And that's the way it was. The shape of it, that's the way it was. Like again, I couldn't see the feet.
Yeah,
I saw the
that's
back
one
part
thing.
of it. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's, I mean, the picture is almost similar to what we saw. Again, I didn't see the feet either. To me, you know, we got the approximate length of the wings, and to me, it looked like it was half the size of the wings, the size of the head.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting that, you know, he was able to get, you know, some details, and I was able to get some other details. But one thing that stands out to me is that we did not see feet.
Yeah, we didn't see the feet.
Mm-mm.
I didn't see a tail either.
Well,
Yeah.
I think just like all normal birds, when you see them flying, they normally tuck their feet up underneath them. You know what I mean? So
And that could have been, yeah.
that, you know, I mean, it took off. It knew it had flight and tucked its feet underneath, just like.
Yeah, we saw the back part of it. Yeah, we saw the back part of it. You know, it was faced the bottom, the underneath, the underbelly was facing the opposite side. So we were able to see the whole wing, the back part, the wingspan, and it had like a bluish gray color to it. But I don't know if it was my spotlight, if it was reflecting the color of the spotlight. I don't know, but to me it looked like a bluish grayish color. But again, you know, it was just a huge bird. You can tell it almost looks like the texture of the wings were like almost like a bat, similar to a bat. I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, even when I'm out up in the mountains and I see a big bird, you know, buzzard or a hawk or something, you can tell it's feathers.
Yeah.
You know, even when they're 75, 100 feet up in the air, it's obvious it's feathers. You know, so to be able to see that thing didn't have feathers.
No.
I made a point to see. I was looking for feathers. There was no feathers. Nothing. It was like a leathery.
Skin was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you two have 2 islands you need to get over to.
Oh yeah. Yeah. right now we can actually go into that island because the water's low.
Oh
So
yeah.
we can go in there, but there's a lot of shrubbery in there. It's really bulk with shrubbery, so we got to be cautious because again, that's where I saw Dogman, and I don't know what's hiding in there.
Yeah,
There's
There's some
you might
people,
want to
yeah.
start with the Bird Island first.
Yeah.
You know,
hmm
so, I mean, I don't know what else to say. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
the sightings have been reported. I think from New York and Florida all the way
Yeah.
Across the coast. You know, I mean, in various states. You know,
Yeah.
and I know your area is a hot spot for these sightings.
I
You
mean,
know,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy that whole area. I mean, we got everything there. It's like, so now we have pterodactyls, UFOs, Dogman, Sasquatch. I mean, that's just what people have been seeing out there. Again, it's like it's crazy. The whole area is a cluster for all that.
yeah. Have you guys looked into the ley
Yeah.
lines of that area?
I can't find anything. That's what I'm
We're
interested in.
still working on it. Yeah.
Because I got it. Someone made a comment in my channel, and I got into it and stuff, and I was actually able to find a map
Oh, okay.
of my area, and there's a total of maybe 6 ley lines.
Was it an internet site that you can go
It was
to?
an
Or?
intercept. It was I just did a general Google search for ley lines.
Yeah. See, and the one that we did that too, but it won't show our area.
Huh? I wonder why.
It doesn't show it. I know there's
Wonder
got to be
why.
something. There's got to be something going through here.
There's got to
something.
be. I mean, there's just too much activity for there not
Yeah.
to be something going on there. You know.
hmm And
But I
then
mean, my area right where I go is an intersection of about 6 of them, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's very interesting. You
yep, yep.
know, so you know, again, it's just the ley line thing is just theory, but you know as well as I do. You know, I mean,
There's something there.
energy has a lot to do with these topics.
Yeah.
And they know that ley lines are concentrated strips of energy. You know what I mean? And where they converge is even
Exactly.
more energy.
And
So
that's where I'm interested. I want to see if they're connecting in that area in that spot. You know, if they're crossing each other.
right,
That's what I want to find out.
yeah, yeah. I did learn that when I typed it in, I put LAY, ley lines, when it's like LEI.
Mm.
So I don't know if it
Okay,
might be your.
well, I'll check it
It
out.
might, but again, I just did a general Google search and clicked on images, and a bunch of maps popped up, and I'm like, well, that's my area right there.
Yeah.
So, and I also did it from my cell phone, so I was able to use the location.
Okay.
Turn on the location thing, which helped, I think.
Yeah, and we don't have
Direct
reception.
maps.
There's no reception out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything's dead out there. No, we want to go live out there, but we can't.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's definitely Kings River is definitely a focal point. That's for sure.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, a lot of stuff seems to happen to you guys along the Kings River.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because primarily that's why we started going out there, because normal people were reporting these creatures out there and they were being dismissed as maybe they're just seeing things or it's their imagination. But when you're really putting boots on the ground and you're going out there yourself and you're seeing these things and experiencing these things, like, I mean, it brings legitimacy to their claims. And I mean, both of us saw it. I mean, there's no denying it. Could we be mistaking it with another bird that we're not aware of? Probably, but we did a lot of research to try and find that exact bird, and we just can't find it. Which led us to believe that it could be a possible pterodactyl. And interestingly enough, just maybe 3 weeks ago, we went to our local zoo here, and without looking or without wanting to you know, how should I say? Without even trying, I came across this image of a pterodactyl, and I immediately snapped a photo of it. And
Oh, froze up.
Yeah.
He snapped a photo and he sent it to me, and it was like, dude, that's what we saw. It's like, what? It was very
Wow.
similar.
Wow.
He froze up.
It's
Yeah. So a lot of people have been seeing them along the Kings River. It's just not up there. It's all along the Kings River, between our towns here. They've been seeing them. So yeah, I mean, and then just so I made a video after that. After that encounter, I made a video, and it's on our YouTube channel. And I was out there filming and measuring. You can hear me talking, doing all the measurements and everything. And then the white crane came through, and then the blue one came through. So it was definitely not crane. So that just debunked it out. It was just too small, and they were flying around, and nothing. It wasn't. It was not a crane. So that just debunked it. Oh,
yeah. That's well, I mean, does the Kings River go through or come from Avocado Lake, or is that a completely separate area? Because Kings River that you have a lot of activity at, you have Avocado Lake, and they're both water. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The Kings River runs along the Avocado Lake. It's not connected.
Oh, okay, but it's near.
It's right near it. Yeah, it's right next to it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then the Kings, and then there's a dam about 10 miles up from that area where I'd seen the dogman, now the pterodactyl. There's a dam which is called Pine Flat Dam. Is up that way. So, and then earlier in the year, one of my other friends that's been going out there, him and his cousin actually saw a bird and I was explaining to him what we saw. He goes, "That's the same thing we saw early in the morning, and it was heading towards Pine Flat." So they've seen it, and he said it wasn't no bird; it was some other kind of bird. It was just different. It didn't have feathers, the way they saw it. Also,
You guys have explored around there quite extensively, and you found a lot of petroglyphs. Have you found any petroglyphs of something similar?
We just found out not behind, but somewhere near the Pine Flat Dam, there's an area. There's an ancient site, Native American site out there, and they say that's off the charts with energy. We got to go find it, though. I got to go find it. We got to go see if we can get in there.
Obviously, you're going to film as much as you can out there because that'd be interesting to see,
Yep.
All of a sudden, you walk into this area, and all of a sudden, you get these petroglyphs, these giant birds, and these Bigfoot beings all over. Like,
And what's funny, on the Pictograph Mountain, the videos that we did there's actually a big old bird drawn on the rock, and you can see it. It's in a circle, but it's a big old thunderbird. But that one shows feathers. Yeah, we took pictures. We took video and everything. It's in the videos.
Yeah, that's it's more credence into what everyone's seeing. You know what I mean? It's got a history now.
At that Pictograph Mountain, people were they were calling them thunderbirds. I don't know if it's the same one or not, but but there's something drawn up there. I mean, it's a huge painting. It's a bird and it's in a circle.
I wonder what the significance of it being in a circle is. Because I know I've seen a lot of pictures and stuff, and normally the wings are spread out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I wonder what I would like to know because it's different. You know what I mean? They didn't do that just because they felt it was an artistic thing. No, they did it because it meant something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
And it's a pretty big painting. It's not a small circle. It's a huge painting. You got to go see it on the video. It's in there. You can see it. One of my friends is standing right in front of it. You can see how big it is.
Nice.
And I'm sorry, I cut off for a little bit.
No worries.
Were you able to tell him that I sent you a picture of the pterodactyl from the zoo, and it was similar to what we saw that day?
Yeah, he told us.
Oh, cool. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
For some reason,
No.
I got kicked out of the stream.
Well, it's technology, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe the satellite went a little.
Yeah.
You know, that's. I mean, you guys deal with a lot of stuff. You guys have a lot of UFO sightings, and now pterodactyl, thunderbird, dogman, Bigfoot.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I mean, there's obviously something going on with that area and the land, and I would definitely try and figure out, okay, ley lines and energy and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because there's just too much in a concentrated area. You know what I mean? It's just way too much. I mean,
we might not be at the exact location with where those ley lines are intersecting, but we might be close.
Right.
We might be very close.
Right. I mean, I don't know how they, or if they can even tell how wide a ley line is. I mean, for all we know is it could be 3 miles long. 3 miles wide, going around the earth. I mean, or it could be 3 feet wide. We don't know. You know what I mean? So you may have been just inside that border a little bit. You know what I mean? Or you could have been just on the outside of it. But there's
something definitely going on there right by the bridge and that island, because sometimes, like I said, we feel the energy and you can feel it, but some days you can't. So I don't know. I mean, we either on the, like you said, on the border of it, or just maybe sometimes it's just the ambient environment that's perfect for that right moment, and then it just feels weird, man. It's just like, it's crazy.
Yeah, you get out and you're like, yeah, this ain't right. What's going on?
Exactly.
I mean, it's almost like that hunter's intuition. You know what I mean? You go out in the woods, it don't feel right, don't go.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've been in areas like that too, where I get in and it's like the atmosphere just feels very heavy.
Yeah,
feels like I don't belong there, and I've gone into areas, that same area during the day, and it's just like I was just there.
Yeah.
It was just normal, but at night it just flipped.
Well, about a week after that, I went back out there. Jesus couldn't make it but I went out there with another friend, and I was waiting for him. It was getting dark, and I was just by myself out there, and and I was just like, my head was on the swivel, like back and forth, because I mean, it's fine when there's light, but when it starts getting dark and I'm by myself out there, it's not. You got to be careful. So I just hung. I was getting nervous, especially everything that we've experienced out there and what I've seen out there. It's like, man. And he finally got there, but it was already dark by the time he got there. It's like, dude. After he got there, I felt relieved. Like, dude, okay, I can stay out here a little longer. But I was already getting ready to go home because I'm not staying out there by myself. No way.
Right. And it's. I'll tell you this all day long. Daytime is our time. Nighttime is their time.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna go bother them because.
Mm-hmm.
No. I did it once. That's all I need to do.
Yeah.
And that's it. So.
And then we found the three-toe prints, and that's down to just about what I want to say about 5 miles down from the river, another area.
Now I'm sure you've heard of Jeff Friend.
Yeah.
He's in Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
A couple years ago, he was walking up the trail in the snow.
Yeah.
Are those same tracks that you found? No.
These are more human-like, but they're three-toe.
Interesting.
His are more reptilian.
His were more bird.
Yeah,
I mean,
bird or reptile or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, or something. It could, but yeah, but I mean, shortly after he found those, that whole area got shut down. You
Yeah,
know, I mean, there were trail cams put up and stuff like that. So
he's got a raptor running
just
around or some bird or something.
I was joking with him. I was calling it a government created giant chicken.
Yeah,
You
giant chicken.
know, big giant
Yeah,
chicken. They created these giant chickens. You know,
yeah,
to help with the grocery situation or something. And a couple of them went nuts and got out, and now they're just running around Pennsylvania. You
yeah.
know, but so not the same. Yours were
No,
more human-like.
yeah, but it was three-toed prints. I did a video. There's pictures on it. Go ahead.
Was it?
Yeah.
Were they? Was it like three toes that looked natural, or
Yeah.
did it look like two of
It-
them had been lopped off at some point?
It's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah.
I would have to look for the pictures to share them, but you could definitely see the claw imprint from the actual foot itself. So it's like three in the front and one in the back.
Oh, okay. So it's got like a spur, almost like a rooster.
Yeah, but this is huge. I
Yeah.
mean, about a foot long,
Mhm.
Jeez. I don't even
and
think I don't even
and-
think ostriches have a foot that big.
yeah, and it was weird because when we were doing our research in that location, we hadn't noticed them, but they were like in a grassy area, but they were definitely interesting, but we couldn't cast them, so uh we continued forward, and on our way back we came onto a like dirt road, and again we found this huge print. Interesting. We had to cast it. I mean, again,
Oh, yeah. You're talking
we're
about
not.
the ones. I'm sorry. You're talking about the ones we saw by the dam. Yeah, I was telling him the three-toe print, the ones that we just found over here by the turnout. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
So you're talking about the ones by the dam. Yeah, those look like, yeah, I don't know. They look similar to Jeff's friends, but this had like a, yeah, like Jesus is saying, like it had like a spur in the back or something. Like it was a different print.
Wow.
It's a three-toe print. It was
So
the
what do you think the human type three-toed print was? The dog man?
I don't think so. It didn't look canine-ish. It looks more human, like maybe Sasquatch or another creature. I mean, I don't know. But that one that Jesus is talking about, that one looked more like a reptile or a bird print or a reptile.
Wow. Yeah. That's
Sorry, Jesus.
you guys got it. I don't know how you guys sleep at night sometimes. You know? With all that stuff going on. I mean, I remember talking to you and stuff one time. You just saw that UFO go down in the orchard, and it burned a big section of this one strip, but everything around it was perfectly fine.
Yep.
You know, I mean, we're not talking small little trees. These were big, healthy
Yeah.
trees. Big, you know. I mean,
Wildman has a question. He wants to know how many Men in Black experiences have y'all had?
Me personally, when I just started the channel, when I had my dogman encounter, it was me and my cousin. We went back to make the video out there by the bridge, same area. And you'll see it in the video. There's this white 4x4 truck, all tinted windows, passes once, passes again, real slow both times, and then it passes one more time. And then we followed it after we wrapped up because he had just passed again the third time. We were just finishing up the video. And I told my cousin, and my cousin noticed it too. He's like, this truck's been passing us. This is the third time now. And I go, I know. So he said, well, let's follow it, see where it's going. So we ended up following it, and it was heading towards the dam. So we can see it. It was about a couple miles ahead of us, but we can see it on the roads going towards the dam. So we were staying our distance, away from it, and it was going real slow. So we were going real slow, but we were watching it. So it gets close to the dam, and there's a bridge right in front of the dam. So it got to that area where people park there and they fish. So it pulled off to the side of the road, and we were still behind, coming up to it, and we stopped. There was nobody behind us, so we stopped, and he stopped, and he wasn't moving or making a U-turn or anything. So then I told my cousin, I think he saw us, and he just pulled over. And I go, well, we're gonna pass him, go on the bridge, make a U-turn on the other side, and just face him to see what he does, and we'll just park and face each other to see what he does. So we end up doing that. We passed him real slow. He had the windows up. You couldn't see nothing in that truck. You couldn't see anything. That's how dark the windows were. And you're not supposed to have tinted windows in the front, or even in the front, you couldn't even see. That was weird. The front windshield was also kind of tinted.
Yeah, California law only limits you a very little tint on the sides.
Yeah.
Even at night, it's very easy to see into if it's legal.
Right.
And you can't tint your windshield at all,
No,
period. That's California law, and you will get pulled over for it. So to have something with literally limo tint all the way around it.
All the way around. And it had a camper, and that had all the limo tint on it too. And so we ended up passing them. We couldn't see anything inside, and we went on the bridge, made a U-turn. So now we're facing him. We're on the other side of the bridge, and he's parked on the other side. So then all of a sudden, here he comes. He pulls out to the road, and he's crossing the bridge, coming towards us. We had parked already. So this guy ends up parking across the street from us on the other side. So he's facing this way, and we're facing this way, across the street from each other. And I told my cousin, all right, just if you can record with your cell phone, just record them. And and I was drinking, and we had some snacks. So we were just act like we're just kicking back, we're just keep an eye every so often, just look over there, see what he does. So about after 5 minutes, the window rolls down. The driver's side window rolls down about halfways. And you can see there was somebody in there, of course, but he just rolled it down halfways. And I looked over there for a little while, but I couldn't see. You could just see the head, the person's head. You saw it was a male. And I looked over there for a little bit. And we were there for about another 5 minutes. And we're just we're just eating and drinking and whatever, I'm not gonna be afraid of them. We didn't do anything wrong. Why are you following us or what's going on? Because it feels like you're following us or watching us. So then after about 5 minutes, he goes and he makes a U-turn behind us, and he comes right behind us, and then he just passes us real slow, and then he takes off. And then that was one experience.
That definitely seems like he had an interest in you guys, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And
yeah,
it definitely seemed like he may have had a technological way of finding where you were.
Yeah, probably the cell phones.
Yeah. I mean,
our cell phones have been acting up ever since that day. Our phones act up. Our messages don't go through until like 2 days later. Pictures don't go through sometimes. It's like it's just me. It's between me, Jesus, and my cousin. Nobody else. Just us three.
Well, it's like your stuff is getting directed somewhere else, being reviewed. Okay, we can put that through, and then they send it off to the original recipient.
Well,
it's interesting,
and that's kind of how that's what my experience has been with all this, is that my internet won't work properly like it's supposed to. Like, for example, a little while ago, I was perfectly fine with you guys. I'm right next to the router, and it all of a sudden everybody started looping, and it kicked me out. And that's probably one of the main things that I have, that whatever conversation or research that Javier and I will be doing, it's muffled. It's being redirected, being vetted, and then either sending it to him a lot later or a couple days later.
Wow.
And it's
Yep.
interesting that he brings up that truck with that camper, because on one of the trail cams,
Mhm.
we see some a truck similar to that. So
Interesting.
again, here we go again. A little clue from one investigation tying up with another clue from another investigation.
And that's when we left a Wi-Fi game cam. It's a Wi-Fi game cam. We left it at Pictograph Mountain. And in one of those pictures, I got it on my phone. It was a white truck,
With a camper.
the same similar type, but he had the windows down this time, and you can see the person in there. There was only one person in there, and I know the owner of the property, and I asked my dad to ask. It's my dad's boss. He works for him, and I asked him, do you know who this guy in this truck is? And I explained the truck and everything. My dad didn't know who it was. So then one day, my dad's boss told my dad, I seen a white 4x4 truck in my field. It's a citrus field.
Private property.
On my property. And do you know who it is? He was asking my dad. And my dad don't know. So the owner doesn't know who that truck is also. So, but it's
Wow,
driving
so
around it's driving around on his property.
driving around on his property through the citrus field,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, without permission.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've been by there. I've never been in that, but I'm pretty sure those citrus fields have big fences around the border, right?
Well, this one doesn't.
Well, it doesn't.
It
I
doesn't
know
have
some
any.
of them, like if it's along a highway,
It's
they'll put up a big fence, or
Right,
if it's
right.
in a populated area on one side, they'll put up a big fence. But
Right,
anything
yeah.
that's left out to the open will just be open.
Right.
You know,
But this one's no fencing. I mean, there's avenues that you can go in, but then there's different avenues that you can take for like where they have the wind machines for the citrus, the wind machines. So they take
Right.
those avenues. I mean, they're just going through the orchard. But yeah, so he sees it. He saw it out there, and that was another time. Yeah, we saw that truck. And then another time, it was me and my cousin again. We went up to it's between Pictograph Mountain and Lizard Tail Mountain. It's Highway 180. It's going up into the hills to the Sierras. So there's turnouts on the way up, and you can see the whole valley floor. And one night we went out there about 10:30 at night because we were seeing there was reports of lights, some strange lights in the sky, and we went out there because you can see everything out there. When you're up in that elevation, and it's clear, and you can see the stars and everything clear. So it was me and my cousin. We went out there. I parked on the turnout around 10:30 at night. And my cousin's he wants to see a UFO. He wants to see one. It's like, I go, okay, well, we got to go out and we have to just wait here. I mean, I can't tell you it's gonna be at this time, and you're gonna see one. So he's all anxious to go. He brought everything. He packs like tasers, and he's got weapons on him. And that's
he's ready to go, man.
He's ready to go. And I go, all right, let's go. So we went, we parked, and we got off, and we were out there for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then as I finally saw the light that I had seen in the past and people were reporting, I saw it and I told them, look right there, right now, look at it. And it's like a bright flash. It's just a bright flash, and then it dims out real slow. And then all of a sudden, this car parks behind my truck. And I didn't even know where this car came from. And I look, and he has his headlights on me. My cousin's over here on the side of me, on the other side of me. And my cousin's looking at the light in the sky because he's tripping out. He's all excited, so he's checking that out. And then I'm looking at the car over here, and it's like an old car. And I see a passenger in there, and he had like those old hats, like the Men in Black, the hats. And it was just like this on the steering wheel. And I could just see the outline of the person. I couldn't because he had the lights on me. And I'm going like, what's going on? What do you need? Or what's up? And he didn't move at all. He didn't say anything. He was just like this on the steering wheel. And I told my cousin, dude, make sure you got your bat or he had like a baton. He had a baton. Make sure you have your weapon because I don't know what this guy's doing here. He won't move. He won't say anything. And all of a sudden, he was just like that on the steering wheel, just looking at me. And then my cousin didn't even notice until the car started backing up. The car backed up, made a U-turn, and went back down the road. So, and I was watching him, and I go, dude, there he goes. You know, he's going back down the road. But that was just a weird, I don't know where this car came from. All of a sudden, as soon as I saw that light, there was this car right here. It parked right behind us. And I told my cousin, dude, that's just weird. I go, I don't know, I just got a bad feeling. And then I told him, I'm gonna keep an eye out on the road, see if it makes a U-turn and it's coming back again. So after about 3 minutes, I saw it coming back, the same car coming back, and this time he pulled off on a turnout that was lower, and he just parked there for a little bit. And I told my cousin, there he is. He's just parked down there. I don't know what he wants. I don't know who it is. And he goes, all right, we'll just keep an eye on it. If it comes back towards us, we'll just get in the truck. So sure enough, it pulls back onto the road and it's coming towards us again. And I go, here he comes, dude. The car's coming. He goes, let's get in the truck because I don't trust this, whoever it is or what it is. So we get in the truck and it just passes us real slow. Just passes us real slow and it keeps going.
That's creepy.
And that was like at 10:30, 11 at night. It's like, man.
That is creepy. I mean, at that time, I mean, it'd be one thing if they were just doing the speed limit and never slowed down and just kept going by it. That would be fine. But he slows down and it's just creeping by you.
Yeah. And like
That's
I said,
concerning.
I see he had a hat like those. I don't know what you call those hats, but like the Men in Black.
Right.
You can see the outline of it. And
like
he was just like this.
Hats, yeah.
And he was just like this. The whole time he's just like this. He wouldn't move or nothing. It's like, and it was an old car. That was the thing too. It was an old type of car. Like, it wasn't one of the newer cars. It was an old car, which was strange, you know? I don't know. It just felt strange. And as soon as I saw that light, I don't know where he came from, because you can hear the cars coming up the road.
Yeah, I mean, at that time of night out in that area, you could hear a car coming from probably 2 miles.
And all of a sudden, I just hear him turn out. I just hear him turn and park right next to us. Like, what? Where did this guy come from?
And those old cars, they're not quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So
it was just
a lot louder than your newer cars, you know. So you should have been able to hear that. That's crazy.
Those are my I want to say Men in Black experiences, if you want to say.
That's creepy. You know. So now, I mean, you got Dogman out there, you got pterodactyls, you got thunderbirds, you got Bigfoot, you got UFOs, and now you got to worry about people in these strange cars following you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You got it all out there.
And I don't know if Jesus have you seen any of them when we were out? I don't remember.
No,
if you've seen
I
them.
haven't. No.
You haven't experienced any of that?
No.
Yeah.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I wouldn't call it a Men in Black incident, but the area I go to, it's a very high dollar area. And the majority of the vehicles I see are Teslas. Well, there's a lot of Teslas, BMWs, Mercedes-Benz, you know, high dollar cars. And I go up there one day and there's an unmarked police car sitting there. And that's odd. Wonder what's going on, you know? I mean, and I'm I wonder if it's an auction car. Because you can buy used police cars at auction, but all the lights are taken out of them, the dividers are taken out, the plastic seats in the back are taken out.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes they'll leave the push bumper on, but they'll definitely take the computer rack out and the gun holder, the gun lock and everything, the rifle lock and everything out of it. Nope, this is fully equipped, completely equipped. Had a computer sitting there, had the gun locked up, had all the lights on it, didn't have roof lights, but it had the push bar and it had lights inside the windshield, front and back. And I'm going, that's odd. Only saw the car once. Never saw it again. So it's just weird that, you know.
You didn't see anybody? You didn't see any person or anybody?
I'm just going to go out on a limb and assume it was an off-duty detective who was up jogging in the area.
Okay.
That's where I'm going to go with it. But it's weird because I've never seen it again. I never saw it before, and I've never seen it other than that one time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think if he was up there jogging regularly, I would see the car more regularly, but
Now you know when you're going to a certain area, you already have a feel for it. What's going to be out there. You know what something's off.
oh yeah. I mean, Lewis took the train up, and I picked him up at the train station, and we went out to my area. And normally I just get up at 6 a.m. I go to the store, I get their stuff, I head up there, you know, do my thing, and I leave, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm out. Everything's done. And this time I had taken Lewis up there, and we had just bypassed everything because we were trying to get to a cave I had found. So we got to the cave. We, screwing around at the cave, going, oh, this is so cool. I'm glad we made it. You know what I mean? Yada, yada, yada. And we head back. And on the way back, I stopped and gave them their gifts. The next weekend, the atmosphere just felt thick. It didn't feel like it was an angry, but it felt like it was irritated. So sorry, I have a. I
want an ice cream.
All right, kids, let's go. I'll buy you an ice cream.
Ice cream.
Yeah, he'll. Hopefully, he likes to sit right out front because there's a bunch of kids in the area, so he sits right in the middle, which happens to be right out in front of my house. Waiting for the kids to go, mommy, ice cream, and then bug him until they're give him $1 or whatever. And it sounds like he's going to sit there. So wonderful.
Yeah. So yeah, we also speaking of the Kings River right here. I don't know if you remember us talking about the area close to town that island where you were talking about. You get a wrap, get to that area. So we actually were in, that I've been getting reports of howling late at night. At the end of last year, I was getting a report from one of our subscribers that lives close to that area, and he was telling about helicopters coming in late at night and flying real low in the river, and he told me about I want to say about 2-3 months ago, he contacted me and told me, hey, I'm sorry I haven't talked to you in a while, but I want to tell you, it's been a while though. He said at the beginning of the year, about early in the morning, around 3 a.m, there was gunshots coming out of the river. He said it was about, you can tell there were rifles. It was about 5 rifles, and for about a minute, he said there were at least 20 rounds shot, and then all of a sudden after that, he hasn't heard any more of the howling. He hasn't seen the helicopters or nothing. So I don't know if they went in and cleared out that area.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like to me.
And I bet if anybody got a good view of that helicopter, it's probably
Well, he has he sent me videos, but you can't
and it's
see.
probably to legally fly a helicopter or airplane, you have to have a wing number or a tail number.
Exactly.
And I bet those numbers are not on those vehicles at all.
And in Jesus, we had an app that Jesus found, and when we would get report, he would tell us, "Hey, there's a helicopter out here on the river," and Jesus would look it up, and he wouldn't find anything. It wasn't showing anything.
Yeah, and since I live closer to the river than Javier, I would go out and listen for it. You could hear it, but it's not being tracked on the app. Again, I mean, we've seen military helicopters go through our town, and I mean, we say, okay, well, they're not being shown on the app for security or safety reasons. We understand that, but when we're getting helicopter reports at night and they're not being displayed on the app, that tells us that it could possibly be military. And then to hear those rifle shots, I mean, are they doing exercises? Are they doing some kind of training? What is it that they're doing in the river?
Yeah, and they shouldn't be doing that because it's near a neighborhood. It's right behind the neighborhood. This whole area.
That's exactly it. If it were training, it would be far, far, far away from any human civilization for safety purposes. Not to mention if they were working with untested technology, it would be far even further out. The only reason that they would be near a residential area or any human civilization population is to clear out an area. Which is why you heard it. Which is why that person heard howls one night, a bunch of gunfire the next night, and absolutely nothing since then.
Mhm.
So, and I've heard stories of several stories where one particular story, a lady in Florida had just moved into this little, they call them closet neighborhoods, where it's like 6 or 7 places spread out throughout like 100 acres. Came home from picking up her kids from school one night, stopped, got food, headed home. It's dark. Bigfoot comes around the corner from the back of their house. They're sitting in the driveway. They see it come in, and she just tells the kids, run inside, get inside, get inside, get inside. So she's following him. She goes in, comes out with a gun, turns the corner, sees this thing standing there, and just blasted it right in the chest. Literally blasted it right in the chest with a deer slug out of a 12 gauge.
Wow.
Just dropped it on its back immediately. She calls the authorities. The authorities show up, tell her to go inside. A white truck, a nondescriptive white truck with nothing on it, shows up, and it has this big hydraulic. I mean, it took up the whole back of the big truck bed.
Wow.
It swings, comes out, goes down. They hooked a winch up to its feet, dragged it up, closed the tailgate, talked to the officer, and left. So I guess the officer comes back, tells her, okay, well, we're all done here. He's, oh, what you shot was a bear standing on 2 legs. She's like, I wasn't a bear. I know what I saw. She's like, well, you didn't see nothing. Okay. So then a couple more officers show up, and they arrest her for discharging a firearm within city limits. They held her over the weekend for like 3 days until she had, okay, I didn't see, okay, I saw a bear, whatever. The kids had to go stay with a neighbor. So while the kids are at the neighbor's, she's still sitting in jail. That neighbor the kids are with talks to the kids, said, what'd you see? She said, we saw a Bigfoot. Mom shot it right in the chest. Huh. That next night, helicopters, military cars, white vans with tinted windows everywhere, gunfire back behind her house. The guy snuck out of the house in full hunting camo, belly crawled, army style, down to see what was going on. Same thing. They brought in a bunch of side-by-sides. One of them had a trailer. They loaded something up on it, covered it with a tarp, and left. Hadn't seen nothing since then,
I think the little girl called it a monster. She kept saying monster.
One of the
Monster.
kids was very young. The other one was just going into high school, I think, in that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the little girl saying monster, monster.
Monster.
The older one was just like, we saw Bigfoot. I don't know what to tell you, you know?
Yeah.
So
And
they
we
do
don't.
go in. I think when they're near civilizations like that, they go in and
Yeah.
clean up the area, so to speak.
And
Which is
I
why
don't like saying the names of my locations anymore because I have a feeling that's because they were monitoring us and they found out about that area. But also there was another area that I said the location on my video. The next time I went out there, the whole area was cleaned out. Like something came and just cleaned the whole area, like all the brush, all the trees, everything was cleaned out. It's like, nah, I'm not saying where the locations are no more. I mean, we'll give it
yeah,
names, but I'm not gonna say it in my videos anymore.
that's one thing I make a point not to do too is not give
Yeah.
out my location because, well, for one, I mean I've shown how populated it is with just random traffic, people mountain biking, hiking, walking their dogs,
Hmm.
just going for a stroll. You know, it's very very human traffic by humans, thousands a day. I mean, and these things are just sitting right at the bush line, just
Yeah.
watching back and forth all day long. Never had a problem. I
Yeah.
don't want it to come out because I don't want the people that frequent there to freak out for one, which them freaking out is going to call authorities. The authorities are going to come in and all this stuff, and the whole thing's just going to get screwed up. So,
And see, that
so
what was weird about that time when he was telling me. That's a time in town we were seeing fishing game trucks and we were seeing forestry vehicles, and you never see those trucks in the town. Never,
Never.
never.
Yeah.
And that's the same time when they were seeing he was telling me about the helicopters and all this stuff going on. Fish and Game was here in town, and the forestry department was here in town. And you never see those.
that's
That
not
was just
normal.
off. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah,
Well,
and the what is it? The fishing game, their trucks almost look they're all blacked out, and the
Yeah,
only thing that distinguishes them is their logo on the side of the door. But other than that, they're all blacked out, and I mean, they
they're
don't
nice
look.
vehicles.
Yeah, they don't look like they're messing around with those vehicles. I mean, they're here to handle business.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
these fully clear.
Asking a question.
Yeah, yeah,
It
because
could be, it
could
could
be.
be. Yeah,
Yep.
because I mean, we're not the only ones that have actually seen evidence of cryptids within the Kings River. Again, we hear it from other people, and that gets us to go out and investigate on our own. And then because of the videos that we put out there, with the information that we find, we get more people opening up and contacting us and telling us what they're experiencing and what they're hearing out there, so that we can, like I said, I live closer to the river than Javier does, and we have that little advantage where, I mean, we're almost at opposite ends of the town. So if he hears something on my end, I'll go outside, check it out, and see if I could get a visual on it. And if there's something going on around his area, he has a clear view of the mountains. So I'll let him know, hey, um, there's some strange lights over this town. Can you take a look? Do you have a visual of what it could be? And we take it that way. But I mean, as far as the government or another department coming out and taking out these cryptids, and then later them returning back, it's a possibility. It could be.
Yeah.
well,
Yep.
Duke's
Yeah, they
right. I
do.
gotta agree with that. You
Yep.
know, and again, they go into an area, they clear out that particular area, the subjects that they can find, but during that scuffle, there may be one or two that runs, which is why they clear the land.
Hmm. And I had a feeling when we were out there was a family of them out there. Whatever it was Dogman or was it Sasquatch? Um, we saw footprints down in Kings River, so I'm gonna say
we've
it's
seen
Sasquatch.
prints.
So I'm gonna say it's a Sasquatch, or Bigfoot, and I felt it was a family of them out there. And on one of our videos, we got a new subscriber that lives in another town, but it's about 15 minutes away. And again, he told us that his friend, they were in that area one time because it's called the beach. There's a little beach there where the people hang out. Families can hang out. He said that one time his friends they saw a Bigfoot. He says they saw the Bigfoot and they saw a little one, a baby. It was a bigger one and a little one. So he goes, there's a family of them in that area, but I don't know if they're there anymore. But it's just I don't want to think that they came out and took him out, but unfortunately that's probably what happened, and that's why I won't say the names of my areas anymore. I mean, I would if it was something attacking people or people were going missing, then of course, yeah, I'm going to say that there's something going on here. But that wasn't the case. There was nothing going on down there. They're probably just interested in people and curious, and you want to see what's going on.
That's why if there has not been any violent acts from them towards a human, leave them be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Leave them be.
Exactly.
That's it. Yep. Leave them be.
I agree.
But if you get that one that's constantly terrorizing somebody at home or chasing kids or whatever, that's a different situation. But
exactly.
If they're just out there doing their thing, just being quiet, doing whatever they do, and not bothering with people, just let them be.
Exactly.
But
Just curious.
The government, the more bodies they have to study, the better off they are. Unfortunately.
The question: have you seen brown cages from Fish and Game in the areas you investigate? No.
They have campers, right? They're like campers or some type of like suburban.
Yeah, they have like a camper on the back of the truck, but like cages out in the areas. No, I haven't seen anything. Mm-mm.
Well, I mean, obviously, whoever is orchestrating these helicopters in this group of people to go out and clear an area is definitely working with wildlife, fish, and game, and those authorities, so that they're in the know a little bit, but they're not in the know. It's they're told they're in the area taking care of something, and they're not giving details. So apparently, they probably just become security guards at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Another, I don't know. It was a while back. It's a video called "Strange Encounter," where it was near Pictograph Mountain, and these guys, the crew of pickers, they're going to pick the citrus. They were going to come in. They came in early in the morning with the equipment, and they experienced something out there. So I got more information on that story. So it turns out it was only one vehicle and two guys in the vehicle, and they were pulling in the ladders. And so they came to an area, and what happened was the driver saw something, and he stopped. So the passenger didn't see it. He wasn't seeing it. He was asking the driver, what's going on? I saw something. And what happened is that whatever he said, it was a big man. All he said, it was a big man, and it opened the back door. It was it's a truck, but it had the 4 doors. So it opened the driver back door, and it got him by the neck. They had him by the neck.
Wow.
And the passenger is not seeing none of this. So I don't know if he wasn't able to see it or only the driver was able to see it, but it had him by the neck. And the passenger is asking the driver, "Hey, let's go. What are you doing?" He goes, "Can't you see that it has me by the neck? It has a door open in the back." So he had his hand through. So it had it by the neck, by the driver by the neck, and then all of a sudden, when he said that, the passenger didn't see it. He goes, "What are you talking about? Well, can't you see? Dude, it has me by the neck." So then he leaned over to see like across the drive, like in front of the driver in the window, and that's when he saw the big mass. He saw the big person, like you can see it, and that's when it goes. It released him. It released his hand from its neck, and then he goes, "Okay, well, let's get out of here." They both saw it. He goes, "Let's go. Let's get out of here." And then he goes, "Dude, it's right in front of the vehicle. You don't see it. I can't go nowhere." And he had a trailer behind him, so he's like, "I can't back up that fast." He goes, and they both saw it in front of the vehicle. He said it was a huge man, all black, hair everywhere, just a huge person. And it was just staring at him, and they were staring at each other. And then all of a sudden, just took off into the citrus. And I'm
There
still
you
trying
have it, people. More crazy stories from the dynamic duo up up like it's Northern
Yeah.
California, right?
It's Central California.
Central California, yeah.
So yeah,
Somebody
I'm trying.
called up crypto magnets.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. It feels
Yeah.
like that, man. It's like,
Right.
Yeah.
As soon as you walk out your door, everything just goes right to you.
the Bopsy cryptids. The Bopsy twins.
yeah. So I'm still trying to get an interview with that guy. I want to interview that guy and just sit down and talk to him, you know.
Right.
I want to get his, maybe hopefully let me record him, but
Right.
I don't know if he will, but I'm still trying to get an interview with that guy.
You
I
can
want to
always-
hear it from him.
You know, you
I
can
wanna-
always
I wanna
blur
know
out his
ex-
face.
Yeah, I want to know exactly what you saw. I want to know. Was it
I never read it.
yeah.
Tell me to
Yeah,
write
that'd
it
be
down
great.
in the story. And you can
Yeah.
read it.
Yeah.
He could write it
That's
down in
true.
a story, you know, and
That's
you can
true.
read it, you know, that way it'll, I mean, something like that for
Yeah.
both of them, him, the driver and the passenger,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm surprised they even still work there if they do. I mean,
Well, they didn't even go back to pick that ranch.
I'm done. I'm out. Nope, I'll go somewhere else, man.
So they had to bring in a whole different crew to go in there. But yeah, they didn't go back in there.
Wow. So it traumatized him big time, man.
Mhm.
Wow.
You know?
They called it a fantasma. They called it a fantasma, which is like a ghost apparition.
Right.
But
right.
but then the guys were saying it's a big man, so it's like, okay, well, it was all dark, all black. So it's like I don't.
But what you're describing is not a phantasma.
Yeah.
What you're describing is a Bigfoot, and it's
And again, look, I can't. It's hard to say because when we were out there, we did an investigation out there early in the morning. We went out there at 4 a.m. I got EVPs during when we were out there. I have EVPs on the video,
right.
and then I got some other weird stuff going through. So it's like, is everything connected? Is everything out here? Is it all connected together? Is Sasquatch out here? You got ghosts out here. You got, I don't know. I mean, that's what we're getting.
That whole area is even just very spiritual from an Indian standpoint. From a native standpoint, that whole area is just riddled with stuff. You know what I mean? And obviously, we all know that Indians, I mean, they pick locations because of the energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, again, you know, that may end up with the whole ley line thing. So, I don't know. You know?
I don't know.
You know. Well, we are at an hour and 15 minutes. And it has been a very eye-opening experience talking to you as always. You know, I mean, now you got, you know, pterodactyls flying around your area along with the UFOs and the dogmen walking around with Bigfoot. I think the only thing you guys are missing are
Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah. Well,
MVP Avocado Lake Monster.
funny you say that because there was a video that came out behind Pine Flat Dam Reservoir. The reservoir. There's somebody filmed something that it looks like it's a big old serpent creature
Oh.
in the reservoir. So
Oh,
I
never
don't
mind.
know.
I'm not even going to say that. What about trolls underneath the bridge?
Yeah, trolls and little people, and now you're gonna have to go investigate the Pine Flat Reservoir monster.
Yeah,
And
all that stuff. So,
Lord have mercy.
again,
So,
I don't know when you sleep or how you sleep with all this stuff going on, man.
nah,
I'd be sitting on the
Yeah,
roof with a
we
shotgun
enjoy it.
every night. You
like
know,
Sue says, we enjoy it. We're excited. We love this stuff.
And
Right.
we're minded
Yeah.
to it. I mean, we're just out there, and hopefully we get something. And I mean, there's been times where we're out there and we don't get anything, and that's fine. But then again, we have those days when we're out there and we're feeling it, and we're
you
just
guys
out
want to
there.
just jump back in the car, start it up, and go as fast as you can.
I mean,
not go
there's
back.
been-
But
Sometimes,
There's been a couple of times where we've been startled where we're
I know the dog
scrambling
man
to get
time.
into to get into the car
Oh, no.
because
Yeah.
I mean it just catches us off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
before we go, I had said that I was going to do a pick of people's names. Y'all in here
Oh.
too. So I said I was going to do that. It's going to come with a stuffed animal of a Sasquatch for a male and for a female. Now I mixed them all up by mistake, but if I pulled the first one I pull, which would be male, female, that would be the two to get it. But if not, I'm going to put the other names back in it. So give me a second. So everybody knows I'm not cheating. I got an empty bowl right here. I got everybody's names that I grabbed out of the chat room. And it comes with a gift certificate, gift card to wherever. So I got everybody's names mixed up in here. Let me see. The first one I pull out, let's see who it is. And if I pull your name, send me your address. Okay, who's Paul? Do we have a Paul in here? I don't think so.
come on up, Paul. Come.
I think he was one from last chat room. So let's do it again because I see there's 21 people in here. He says, so do I win? Patrick Vaughn.
Oh, Patrick.
Patrick Vaughn, that's my tracker friend. He got the first. So let's see who the
He's in.
female
I
is
saw
going to
him. He's in here somewhere.
Yeah, I
saw him
know.
tonight.
be. Oh, that's Gordo. I'm going to put him back in because he's the second male. We're going to do that next week. So I'm going to put him back in here. We do this again for the female. Y'all don't know. Let's see. Oh, look what came up. Cryptid 559. I'm going to have to put you back in the pot because you wasn't the first male. But that's okay.
That's all right.
That's all right. That's all right. Let me see. Oh, I got Carol and Bill.
Carol and Bill King.
Yeah.
Well, it is a male and female. So
Yeah, that's a duo.
how you gonna work that one?
I don't know. I might do some extras there. So
Well, you know what?
we're gonna-
Carol is first.
Yeah,
Carol is first in that. So
But we have a Carol Ricker in here. I don't see Carol and Bill in here. So
yeah, I think they were here
they
last
got to
week.
be in here to get their prize. So let's try it again. How many times I'm gonna pull? I might as well buy a whole crap load of these things. Oh, look who won the second one for the female.
Sharon. That's Sharon Guy.
Yep. So Patrick Vaughn and Sharon, and I'm putting everybody's name that I'm leaving the ones that are pulled out. I'm putting y'all back in the pot.
Sweet.
How you
There
like
you
that
go.
number?
Sharon Guy.
Okay.
Yep.
Claim your prize. Patrick
Yep,
Vaughn.
yeah, I'm gonna get and like I said, I'm doing this 4 times. So I'm gonna probably have to do a double before Christmas, and I gotta get everybody's addresses so I can send it to you. So and I did not have a pot, y'all saw me. I was doing this, so
Yeah.
so
Well,
all right, well, that concludes for tonight, and you know, y'all two stay on. So
thank you all for joining.
Thank you for
yes,
having us.
thank y'all for
Thank you,
joining.
everyone.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank
it's
you.
always a pleasure to have you guys. I mean, you never know
Yeah, y'all stories are
what the heck
suspenseful.
is going on up there at any given time.
Yeah.
You go right from a week of UFO sightings to a week of pterodactyl sightings to a week of Bigfoot sightings to a week of
Yep. And
That would
then,
make
You got a
my
little
head
bit of
explode.
everything.
yeah, and
I
like
would-
Murray Fisher said in the chat, she's saying, "Oh my goodness, it's Skinwalker Ranch," and yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we feel like.
It's literally Skinwalker County.
Yeah,
It's bigger than a ranch. It's
yeah,
Skinwalker
cloudy. Yeah,
County. So
yeah,
Well,
it's huge.
No.
It's
till
crazy.
get out there.
Yep.
Go do
Yeah,
your
hopefully-
thing.
hopefully we can-
Well, quit falling off the roofs first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
quit trying to play football with Bigfoot because they will destroy your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't shoulder check a Sasquatch.
Yeah, and don't think that you're gonna be taller than them because that's not
Yeah,
gonna work
no,
either.
right.
You know, you might as
So-
well stay on the ground level like me because when you're short like me, your butt touches the concrete. Okay, we get concrete burns. So
Yep.
Well,
All right, guys.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
thank y'all.
Yeah,
Have a
thank
good
you.
evening
Likewise.
and a blessed one. Stay.
Thank you, everybody in
Thank
the
you.
chat.
See ya.
Yes, thank everybody in the chat for coming
And we'll see you all next week.
next week. Woo.